Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Dafa, and I will show you my presentation about the types of unemployment. So let's begin. What is unemployment? Unemployment, in the simple word, is people who doesn't work. And according to OECD, or we can call it Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, is persons above a specified age or not being paid employment or self-employed but currently available for work. And we'll track this to the current situation that the rest of the world now facing extreme cyclical unemployment, including Indonesia, that are having serious cyclical unemployment in the world, which caused by pandemic coronavirus. And it will impact it with high risk of economic depression and lurking significantly. And as been said, that's just one of many cases about types of unemployment that being happen right now. Cyclical unemployment, the cases occurred due to pandemic outbreak, as I said, and U.S. employment rate had a sharp increase from January to April 2020, like being showed in these graphs. In January, rate of employment in U.S. is in this, what kind of point? Yeah, so overall, the graph is showing decrease. So there is a type of unemployment. I'm going to show you about natural unemployment, cyclical unemployment, and structural unemployment. Natural unemployment occurred when economy is at full employment conditions. And just in this case, people only tend to be unemployed because they want to, which means if there's a nation with natural rate of unemployment and it's above close to 0 point, there is a tendency when the people don't want to work, and they just want to reach their passions. So the types of unemployment is frictional unemployment, voluntary unemployment, and seasonal unemployment. So let me describe what is being categorized in natural unemployment. Frictional unemployment. Frictional unemployment is a state that, frictional unemployment is the state when you as a worker resign and look up into another fresh new job, or it can be called a short-term tendency when workers look for transition from their job or their old job, to their new job. For example, you bored working 8 hours, 5 days daily as a week as an office boy, and you just got an opportunity to resign and got a better job as a marketing manager in a better company. So the time you're waiting for a new job as a manager called as frictional unemployment. And the second one is voluntary unemployment. Voluntary unemployment refers to a worker that can work well but choose not to work. Persons with high of net worth that choose to retire in age of employment can be categorized as voluntary unemployment. Last but not least is seasonal unemployment. Seasonal unemployment can be described as a situation when workers experience unemployment at the current times of the year regularly, when the demand of employment or any other factors like weather issue, if the workers are farmers, decrease. It also can be reversed when the seasonal goods, such as Chinese lantern production in the Lunar New Year, demand or decrease, so the workers that create seasonal goods are unemployed. Glad to hear that seasonal unemployment doesn't last eventually. When the peak season begins, the workers have to work again, and they will be employed again at the time in a certain year. I will describe the second types of unemployment. The second one is structural unemployment. Structural unemployment occurs when there's fundamental changes in economic sectors which made a skills gap among workers that need to be upgraded. And there is a kind of fundamental changes that making the structural unemployment to be occurred. The changes is based on economic production orientation from agrarian to industrial sector ones. And the second, change based on technological development. And the third one is change based on governmental policy. Let me describe the change based on economic production orientation from agrarian to industrial sector. When the economic orientation changes from agrarian to industrial sectors, the employees who had different human resources skills will be confused, and it will be and they will have a skills gap by the change that occurred rapidly. So because of the change in economic sectors from the agrarian to industrial sectors, the human resources skills must be upgraded, but it's not followed. So there is a skills gap, and it will occurring a structural unemployment, as it say. The second one is change based on technological development, such as improvement in artificial intelligence, robots, startups, and etc. that change the roles of human in industry. Because of that, it will impact on demand deficit on employment. So it will cause the structural unemployment to be occurred too. The third one is the change on governmental policy. If the governmental policy are not, if the government doesn't state the less precise policy to the society, it will make the structural unemployment to be occurred too. So there's three main factors, uh, which is causing the structural unemployment to be occurred, right? And then the last type of unemployment, cyclical unemployment, that being happen right now, occurred when business cycle is turned down drastically or fall out extreme contraction and making the economic recession to depressions. There are things related to cyclical unemployment. There is this economies of scale. This economies of scale is state when the present of production income is below the present of marginal cost in average business sectors, which means if the business burn out and not getting profit anymore, and not getting profit anymore, it will create an employment demand deficit to all sectors. And the things is related to the second point, but we call it by employment demand deficit. Employment demand deficit is the state or condition that reduce demand of employment recruitment in a certain time. What is the cause of these economies of scale? These economies of scale can be happen through the main factors. To many factors in life, such as now is like pandemic coronavirus that being shut the all sectors of business around the world. So it causing the business to shut and not making profit. Like decreasing profit. Because of decreasing profit, it means that organizations like company, corporations, and any kind of corporations will have to cut off the operating costs, which means will cut the main salary and fire their employees. So the demand of employment will be reduced and it will make an employment demand deficit. It's an instant alternative by business in this state to gain more profit with reduced cost of operation. That is the simple mechanism of how cyclical employment occurs. So I will describe the current condition of cyclical unemployment. In new cases, in April 2020, USA had recorded unemployment rate increases up to 14.7% in April 2020. This condition occurred due to pandemic novel coronavirus outbreak. Coronavirus not only increased the rate of unemployment, and it's also destroyed the world economic condition. It can be called the worst downturn of cyclical unemployment ever. As I stated before, why coronavirus causing the cyclical unemployment to occur? Because coronavirus had shut the business, or most of the business around the world, like like an offline businesses, like restaurants, business in the malls, and any others. So it makes these economies of scale to occur. When these economies of scales occurred, it will causing the cyclical unemployment to be happen. So I'll make the conclusions that there are several types of unemployment. The types of several unemployment is natural unemployment that being happened because there is natural rate of unemployment occurred when there is no unemployment in their nation. And the second one is structural unemployment when it's occurred when there is change in fundamental structures in economy. And the third one and lastly is the cyclical unemployment occurred when there is a percentage of production income is below the percentage of marginal cost of production. That means loss in the big scale of business in economy in a certain nation. So any types of unemployment causes a level of aggregate productivity of a country to decline, resulting in declining economic growth and creating levels of welfare. So unemployment makes the nation is prosper harder. The graph besides below show a real example